It's no secret that starting a business is hard. Even if you have an amazing idea, bringing it to life can feel overwhelming. With HubSpot's new entrepreneurship kit, though, you can go from idea to IPO with the help of a company that knows a thing or two about growing better. The all-inclusive kit gives you step-by-step guidance and frameworks to help you crush every stage of starting a business, with tools tailored to help all along the entrepreneurial journey. It's packed with templates for project management, email, and skill development. Wow, that's a lot of templates. There's also a solopreneur guide. It's got freelance pricing worksheets and lots more you can get up and running immediately. And best of all, it's free. With expert guidance and frameworks from HubSpot, starting a business doesn't have to be so hard. So don't wait to start yours. Go to HubSpot.com/ENT to download the guide right now. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Thursday, August 22nd. I'm John Weigell here with Juliette, Bennett, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Last week, we reported an odd but exciting marketing ploy from Taco Bell. The idea was to set up an early retirement home called the Cantinas. Last weekend, the Cantinas opened outside of San Diego, California, only to Taco Bell Rewards members and our very own Juliette Bennett, who got to experience the home in person. Today, we're talking about her experience and if the activation was a success. But first, let's give you the hits and headlines in business and tech. To start us off, the Federal Trade Commission's nationwide ban on non-compete agreements was struck down by a federal judge in Texas. The FTC can still file an appeal for that, though. Next, Starbucks' pumpkin spice latte has returned. The chain is launching its fall menu on August 22nd. That's today, but that's 2 days earlier than last year. Juliette, when do you think they're going to come out with the pumpkin spice latte next year?
July 5th.
Good one, actually. I'll meet you in the middle. I'll say like July 18th.
Okay, fair, yeah. I mean, I think for me at this point, it's like we have Independence Day and then it's Halloween.
It is immediately after Independence Day. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of calendar I would subscribe to personally.
Kind of like how November 1st, it's Christmas. We're just doing it.
Right, exactly. Next, over to cars. Ford called it quits on its electric 3-row SUV and will instead work on gas and hybrid models. The automaker is also delaying its electric pickup truck until 2027. A lot of problems with Ford and electric cars lately. Over to China, Shein and Temu, both Chinese e-commerce titans, are surprisingly beefing with each other. Shein filed a complaint against Temu, accusing them of stealing IP and trade secrets, impersonating the Shein brand, and much more. The complaint is about 80 pages long if you have the stomach for it. And finally, some good fun, I guess. AI ethics nonprofit Humane Intelligence and the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology are holding contests for people who want to find bugs in generative AI models. I personally can only find bugs in my house. Okay, on to the main story today. Taco Bell opened up an early retirement home and community to its rewards members last weekend outside of San Diego. And Juliette, you actually got to be there to see it all. So can you first tell us a bit about the idea behind this zany community?
Well, an interesting thing about Taco Bell, and I must admit that I don't necessarily understand it, is that Taco Bell has just a very loyal fan base, especially among younger consumers. They are very dedicated. They want to try every new menu item. They want Taco Bell merch, and they want to go to Taco Bell activations. A few years ago, Taco Bell did a big activation in, I believe in Palm Springs, where they had a Taco Bell hotel.
Wow.
And I had some friends that went there and they said it was actually really great. Some food writer friends. And they had a great time. They had a blast. And Taco Bell also, as we know, has been expanding its business. It has cantinas where you can drink at Taco Bell, which, I mean, amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And it has places in Las Vegas where you can actually get married within the context of Taco Bell. So this was just one of those continued expansions where, you know, they give fans a chance to really engage with the brand and live this Taco Bell branded lifestyle.
Yeah, it seems like they have done a great job in really reaching their audience in a lot of places. And of course, what better place to do this activation than in California? Because California is actually the state with the highest amount of Taco Bells.
Really?
So what was your day like there? Did you spend a day? Did you spend the night? What was the situation like?
I spent a day. So the Cantinas was called the Cantinas. It went on for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Some people did spend the night. I did not. So I was not there for the entire experience, but I was there for a good 8 hours of living moss. So it was at a country club outside of San Diego, which was interesting because it was an existing country club where they had rebranded a portion of it, which was really funny because I would occasionally run into actual country club members being like, what have you done to my club? So Taco Bell, which is really funny. It was like this convergence. I will say they did a great job with redoing it and making it look like some sort of Taco Bell senior citizen community. We rolled up in the very early afternoon and just the whole thing, the lobby, you walk in, there's pictures of senior citizens living their best life in Taco Bell gear. Everything was tripped out in purple and orange and colors that we associate with Taco Bell. They had an entire wall of Big Mouth Billy Bass animatrons. I don't know how old you have to be to remember these commercials being on TV, but basically it's an animatronic fish that sings songs and flaps around as though mounted on a board, like you've taxidermied it and cursed it to forever live in your home and sing you oldies songs. But it was singing a very specific Taco Bell song, a song created just for this experience.
A newly programmed song.
Yes, those were there. And there was a lot of attention to detail, like, knickknacks on every table, little dishes with Werther's Originals. My grandma used to have those out.
Oh, yeah.
Crochet everywhere. It looked very good. Even the golf carts had been rebranded the Taco Bell purple color.
Wow.
So, like I said, everything looked amazing. And then when it came to the actual activities, as you might imagine, they were all very low energy, relaxed pace activities, with the exception of pickleball, which I think is a little more exciting.
It's retirement community coded, but it's not exactly,
for sure.
Sitting in a rocking chair and knitting on the porch.
Right. So the things that you could do here, you could play pickleball, like I said, you could go swimming in the pool. You could do the putting green. I don't think it was a full 18 holes, but you could go out for a little bit and shoot some golf. There was an arts and crafts room. When I was in there, they were making friendship bracelets, charm bracelets, and then like the beaded bracelets like all the Taylor Swift fans love. Later, there was a crochet class, I think, but I did not attend that one. Mm-hmm. There was a still life painting class where there was a beautiful tableau of Taco Bell items and flowers that people could paint with an instructor. There was an aerobics class. It felt very senior in that like they only had 2-pound weights. When I walked in, they were playing the Venga Boys' We Like to Party was the jam. So that seemed very fun.
Incredible.
My favorite activity, I think the big centerpiece activity was bingo with a group of influencers called Retirement House.
Oh, I know them. Yes. They're a bunch of elderly people that live in a home together, kind of like a content house, but they're all old. Is that them?
Yes. And they were
incredible,
delightful. So they were calling bingo. I think the top prize at bingo was a $500 gift certificate to Taco Bell, which that's a lot of tacos. I played a round of that, but then I went to the other activity, which ended up being my favorite, which was a Taco Bell sound bath where I could just lay in the grass.
Is it just gongs of the Taco Bell noise coming at you?
I was really wondering. I thought maybe it would be a very Taco Bell specific ASMR situation. I once went to a Jack in the Box pop-up where they had videos of people eating crispy chicken tenders to make like the ASMR noises. And I was like, oh, will someone like gently eat a Crunchwrap Supreme next to my head and crinkle the... No, it was a legitimate sound bath. She had the singing bowls.
Oh.
Being San Diego, it was very pretty, very scenic. There were some hot air balloons in the background. And I was like, this is nice.
Wow.
Maybe I don't want to live moss. I want to live very slowly, laying on the ground. This is actually great. And of course, there was Taco Bell food. It was Taco Bell all day long. As much Baja Blast as a person could drink, which for me is actually zero amount of Baja Blast, but for other people, a prodigious amount. So yeah, it was a whole day of very relaxing activities, all Taco Bell branded. Another thing that was kind of cool was that there was a shop called the Sundries, and this shop featured around 500 pieces of thrifted vintage clothing that they had found at various shops. And all they had done was put the Cantinas embroidery and patches on them. But it was like, not only did you get your Taco Bell merch that you can wear and be like, hey, I went to the Cantinas, but it was a unique article of clothing that no one else will have.
Wow.
And apparently this was because Gen Z loves thrifting. I think we've talked about that before. If not on the podcast, then definitely in the newsletter. Gen Z is getting really into thrifting. I think I read something that they're calling it under consumption core, which is thrifting and repairing their own clothes, which to me is just like, in this economy, yes, of course you would do that.
Right.
But that was, I think, a really unique thing that Taco Bell did, because they could have just printed up a bunch of identical T-shirts, but they didn't. They chose to do something really unique that really catered to the audience that they were trying to attract and entertain.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, the level of detail, it sounds like, was second to none here.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I think that I'm most surprised at, and the thing that a lot of brands want, I've never seen a brand with such high affinity of its audience that people will go to San Diego, even if they're not from San Diego or don't live there, and they will go and even spend the night at your favorite fast food restaurant's hotel or retirement community setup. It is just fascinating to me how this brand has so much love from the people that would do that. Like, I don't think I would do that for any brand.
No. You know, you have loyal fans of entertainment properties. You know, you saw people drop thousands of dollars to go to the Star Wars hotel and live in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, of course, a narrative experience. But for a fast food restaurant to have the kind of brand following where people are like, yes, I want to go to the Taco Bell retirement community is rare. I was not there on Sunday, but had I been, I would have witnessed a proposal.
Oh.
So there was a couple, their names were James and Caroline. They met on a dating app and they had been together for 8 years. Apparently they shared a mutual love for Taco Bell, and it was one of the things they bonded over when they began dating. So apparently James thought, this is the place.
That is massive.
Mm-hmm.
That is every single brand's dream right there, is for people to love your property so much that they want to get engaged at your events.
Disneyland level.
That is Disney adult level
Yes.
scenario right there. It's incredible. And, you know, obviously we talked about all the stuff that was good about it. Was there anything that you think could have been improved upon, or did you think that it was just a success, wall to wall, like great activation?
Well, it's interesting because I am not a person that can eat Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
So that is me prefacing saying I am not like the best person to talk to about Taco Bell food because I do not eat it. But I will say, so I went with my friend who is a Gen Xer. I'm a millennial, but I'm an older millennial. And my friend's son is, I think, 27 or 28. And he is really into Taco Bell. Mm-hmm. And on the way there, I was told there are like secret menu items and all sorts of like experimental Taco Bell stuff. I've, of course, read articles about elevated Taco Bell food. And I was assuming that that would be kind of the centerpiece of the experience. I was thinking like, oh, come dinner, there's going to be some weird Taco Bell stuff. Like I had heard whispers of a Baja Blast gelato. Like I was like, all right.
Oh my God. Wow.
But no. It was the same food I ate in college. You know, I was like, oh, I know this beef supreme gordita. I remember this well, getting out of, you know, work at the bar at 3 a.m. and going through the drive-thru for one of these. And I guess I was a little surprised that they leaned so heavy on the throwbacks, but people were into them.
Literally ate it up, right?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed because I was like, I wanted some weird Taco Bell. And this is just taking me back to recession times. Like, it was just weird that like there was such nostalgia for these items that I associate with not being able to afford anything else. But these people are like, yes, I love this burrito. I'm going to have 6. But yeah, I would say if there was anything that I was surprised by, it was that they didn't roll out any of the experimental food on the day that I was there. But in terms of like a good nostalgic throwback time and the activities and the range of things there was for people to do, I would say that was really successful. If there's one thing that I thought was a little odd, it's that I kept hearing that this was being marketed to Gen Z, that it's Gen Z that loves senior citizen activities.
Yes. We've actually talked about that on the show before, about how like Gen Zs are becoming a little more like interested in things that boomers are interested in.
Right. But while I was there and while I was thinking about it, I was like, you know, I feel like it's not just Gen Z. I feel like it's millennials and Gen Z who have sort of adopted this slower paced lifestyle.
Sure.
And I think that would be appealing to both generations. I think that's largely to do with the pandemic, honestly. Like, I think that's when people were like, can't go outside, going to learn how to make bread and crochet and do a cross stitch and garden, you know. So I think maybe there's a little of that. So I do think there's an opportunity for a broader audience to enjoy Taco Bell activations. I just don't know that the older generations are going to be as excited about the food. But I do think this sort of lifestyle of like Taco Bell being a very accessible, familiar brand that you know is kind of always there for you, I think that carries.
Uh-huh. All right, and that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage on our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go get yourself signed up at thehustle.co/email, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hey everybody, I've been listening to this awesome podcast lately called Entrepreneurs on Fire. It's hosted by John Lee Dumas, and it's available right now on the HubSpot Podcast Network. Entrepreneurs on Fire stokes inspiration and shares strategies to fire up your entrepreneurial journey and create the life that you've always dreamed of. It offers lots of energy, value, consistency, and it's for anybody who wants to learn more about entrepreneurship. It's super fast-paced and packed with valuable stories about entrepreneurs, their aha moments, their failures, and everything to what's working for them today. Recently, he had on this guest, Ashley Stahl, who talked all about her job at the Pentagon and how she evolved into becoming a top 100 TEDx speaker. She talks about evolving your brand from the ground up, leaning into the skills that you already have to build your brand, and also creating virality. It's a great listen. You should check it out. And you can listen to Entrepreneurs on Fire wherever you get your podcasts.